So here are the measurements for my pop-up page number 3. For the booklet, you're going to cut 738 by 814. Then you're going to cut another piece 818 by 814, and that one you score 1/2 inch plus a 3/4 inch. So you have a 1/4 gusset. Glue these two together. Then you have your big booklet. Then we're going to make a front pocket. So you're going to cut 6.5 by 814, score 1/2 inch 3 sides. Then we go to the inside pockets. You do need 2 times. Cut 714 by 814, score 1/2 inch 3 sides. So we're going to need 2 big inside pockets. Alright, then we have the pop-up element. You're going to cut 9 by 5, score 1/2 inch, 1/1/4, 7/3/4, and 8.5. You do need to have those 2. Then you're going to draw and fold that diagonal 3/4 like I showed you in the video. Then we're going to need 4 strips, 3.5 by a large 1/2 inch. Cut the diagonal and glue them down as I showed you in the video. Then we're going to need 4 pieces of the inner tags. That's 3 by 5 inch. Then we go to the top base. We do need 2 times. Cut 718 by 5. And then we need 2 pockets. Cut 6.5 by 4.5. Score 1/2 inch 3 sides. And then for the closure we do need a small piece of paper. Cut 2 by 3/1/4 and score 1 inch and 1/1/4. And then you can round the corners. And then everything I showed you is as it goes. Then you're gonna get this page. Just pause me guys and write this down. It's a lot, but it's not that difficult when you know things. Yes. Alright guys, see you next time. Bye bye. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna make a new page, so stay with me. So guys, I have a nice notebook which I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna show you all the measurements. Alright, let's get started. Okay guys, so this is our new tunnel. This is the 3rd one. I'm gonna put that away. You don't need that right now. So I'm gonna grab my 2-in-1 scoring board, and I'm gonna start with my first thing that we need. So we're first gonna cut the 738 by 8/1/4. My A4 size is a 8/1/4, so that is perfect. Then our next piece is going to be cut 8/1/8 by 8/1/4, and as you can see, this one is a little bit bigger, but we're gonna make a hinge of the second piece that we just cut. So where is my scoring tool? Here it is. So we're gonna score a 1/2 and on the 3/4. So yes, we do have loads of places, loads of place that we can do a lot of inside. So just fold this. Also can put this away, that's easier. Alright, I'm gonna put some tape on because we're gonna glue these 2 pages on each other. So we're gonna make a nice large booklet. Peel off 1 corner. Grab your first page that you just cut. Line it up nicely. I'm just gonna check the bottom, and then the top will be fine. And then just peel off the rest of the tape. Burnish it down. And then you will have your nice big booklet. Just like that. There we go. that's one. That was not too difficult. Save all the pieces, you never know where you're going to use it for. So the next step, just put this away. Next step, we're going to make a nice big pocket out of that. You can use, yeah, I think I'm just going to go for the 160 because it's on top. So it's not so you're going to use anything different than using the 120. So now I'm still going to use the 160. So we're going to cut a 6.5 by 8 1/4. And we're going to score 3 sides. Long one, 2 short ones to create a nice pocket. Easy peasy. I'm gonna put some tape on here for the pockets. Cut the corners. Here we go. Fold everything. There you go. Wonderful big page. Just gonna make this nice flat. Peel off the bottom tape. And place this nicely on top your page. Don't forget the sensitive painter's tape. So everything that you're going to put inside this pocket will be easy going in, yeah, and out always, but nicely going in. So the hinge will not bother you. Okay. Let's peel off this piece, and there we go. Flat this, burnish this down, and there you go. Your first nice pocket is done. Not that difficult, was it? Nope. Alright, next step. Okay guys, let's go to the next piece. Now, before you're gonna add, am I blurry again? Am I blurry again? God, it's always difficult. But anyway, so you can add design paper right now, but I just won't recommend that. So please don't do that because you're gonna see later. So next step, it's blurry. Okay, here we go again. Alright, put this away for just a second. Grab your big, whatever you're going to use. And we're going to make 2 large pockets. So again, I need 2 full pieces. But to keep it a little bit down with thickness, I am going to use the 120. So we need 2, but I'm first going to tell you what size. So it's a 7 1/4. 7 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, that's my size. And we're going to score 3 sides 1/2 inch. So that is 1 large pocket, and we need 2. So I'm going to grab another 120 gram. So it's a 7 1/4. So these are the inside pockets from the booklet. So we're just going to score 1/2 inch, 3 sides, 1 large, 2 small sides, and those are for the big pockets. And we're just going to apply tape on 3 sides, cut the corners, and fold everything down as we are normally used to for making those big pockets. Here we go. By the way, if you don't have 120 gram and 160 gram, if you don't have two sizes of thickness, that's okay, guys. It is okay. This is my first project that I try to use two different sizes, but if you don't have that, that is totally fine, guys. It is. You don't need to buy extra different sizes, different weight of paper. It's not needed. I'm just going to try it out. If it feels better for me than only using 160 gram. Because I told you earlier, I think the Clairefontaine is using a little thicker than in the past, but maybe that's just me, I don't know. Alright, so we have our two big pockets. Let's peel off, if I have my tool. Where was my tool? Here was my tool. Let's peel off the bottom. And now you just can wiggle till it's on its place nicely. I'm going to start on a white corner, this corner, to watch where I want this. And when I think it's settled down, I'm just going to settle it down. And again, I'm going to use my sensitive tape. Go. Big pocket. Let's do that again with the other one on the other side. Now I'm going to start on my left. At the bottom. Check, check, check. And there you go, burnish it down. Yes, alright, that's our first step. Not that difficult, was it? Nope. Now we are going to put design paper on these two pages. Is that a must? Yes, it is. So find your pieces that you still have left. Let's see what I only had these two left. So I'm gonna grab, I can start with these. I still can. Shall I give that a try to just use these two? Why not? Why not? Alright, so I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna cut a 1.5 and we're just going to need this fully. So what I'm going to do with this one, just going to see where this fits on the pocket. So you need to be two the same ones. At least that's the meaning. So I'm going to cut my paper and then I'm going to cut 1.5 and another 1.5, and then the other one is 2, because the 2 is going to go in the pocket. So top and bottom are pretty much the same. Okay, so I'm going to smooch the edges. And I'm going to, if my glue is open, of course. I'm gonna apply this in the top pocket. Here we go. Nice fitting with black edges. And then our next 2-inch. And I'm going to use this upside down. Here we go, this fits nice on this side, and then the 1.5 we're going to do at the bottom. This we can't, well, this is pretty much okay. Here we go. Nice black edges all the way around. Same thing on this side, black edges all the way around. Alright, burnish it all down. Especially in the corners, guys, especially, well, all the way around of course, but you just need to burnish it down. You don't want to see pieces that get loose. Okay, now we're going to find a nice piece that fits on the inside, and as I told you, I want to use first what I have. And yeah, you don't need to make this too difficult, just 2 big ones. I think I'm just going to use this piece. Why not? Because you don't see that much from this paper, but you need a nice cover up. Trust me with that. Check, check, check. Alright, so and there we go. Smudge the edges. And glue it down. And there you go, burnish it down. I always like to have a little tissue, otherwise my hands get so early dirty and I don't want that. So I always like to have a tissue on my table to use it when it's needed. Otherwise I'm going to keep using my hands and I don't want it. Yes, cool. 2 nice big pockets. That was Not difficult, was it? Alright, so next step. Okay guys, put this away for a moment. Put that away. So I'm gonna grab again my cutting board. And let's see this. Yeah, I think I am gonna use the 160 for this one. So we're gonna cut a 9 by 5. We do need 2 of these pieces, so I'm gonna cut right away another 9 by 5. Okay. Then we are going to score 1/2 inch, 1/4, 7 3/4, and 8 1/2. Okay, let's do that with the other one also. 1/2 inch, 1/4, 7 3/4, and 8 1/2. Okay, put this away for a moment, because now there is a little, tricky one. No, it's not a tricky one, but we're gonna measure, we're gonna draw something, because this is very hard to explain in measurements. So what we're gonna do, which I'm just gonna show you. I'm just going to show you. So I have my measurements here. And we're going to mark another 3/4 right here. And we're also going to do that at the bottom. Only one side. Okay, so 3/4 mark here and a 3/4 mark here. You can make a line. I'm just going to do that so you see it better what I'm going to do. I'm just gonna make it a line. So you don't need to score this. So just make another 3/4 right here. Alright. Now we're gonna flip this, and we're gonna also make a measurement at 3/4 and a 3/4 right here. We're also gonna do this here so it's straight. Make a measurement 3/4 here and 3/4 here, and just to make it easy for yourself, make a little line right here and here. Okay, that. Now what we're gonna do, and I'm first gonna show you, I'm gonna draw it. What the meaning is. The meaning is that we're going to score these little lines. Okay, that is what we're going to score, and we're going to also do that on this side. So you don't need to draw this. This is just so it's easier for you to understand what I'm doing right here. Yes. So what I'm gonna do, I think this needs to back up, but that's not a big deal. So first I'm gonna fold. That also can do later, but I'm just gonna do it right now. These long pieces. Okay, and now I'm gonna fold these two guys. So what I do, I'm just gonna put that on your table. It will do. And we're just gonna score these little lines. Just press a little harder than you normally are used to with your scoring board. Maybe you have even a nice cutting mat that's dented a little bit. Then a hard table. This is a cutting mat, so mine is bending in just a little bit. All right, that's nice. I can erase this, but for now I'm just gonna, yeah, I think it even looks better if I just erase it right now. Don't know if you're gonna see it, but for just in case, I am gonna erase it. I don't think that you see it, the rest you don't see. Alright, so we have folded all of these, but now we're also gonna fold this one. So what I like to do is I'm just gonna grab one piece and then one piece, and then you can see right away that this bends nicely together. Finish that down. So we're gonna do the same thing right here. So first one piece, and then this folds nicely. There you go. That's what we want. Okay. Now, it's an option that you're going to put design paper on here before we're going to go further. If that is an option for you as well, because you might see it, you might. I'm just going to first see what this paper is. Do we have some left? Can I use 2 of these? Or shall I just use this one? Or even the orange one? So it's an option. If you don't want this, then don't do it. So this was a 3/4. So my advice is then, if you want to do this, cut this maybe even a 5 of an 8, because this piece is 3/4. So you definitely need to stay away from the fold lines. So I'm going to cut this a 5 of an 8. And I'm going to put this on top. And first I am going to cut this as normal, a little smaller for the black edges, as I normally would do this. And then I'm going to see where those fold lines are. Then I'm just going to make 2 marks so I stay under the fold line. So this is how I make sure that this nice fits. And as I say, it's not particularly necessary, but when I did the tryout, I was a little annoying about that I did not do that. So I will do that right now. Just because I like it. That it's perfect, in my opinion, in my eyes. Alright, so I'm just going to glue this on. Just hope that this will fit nice. Yep, I stay between the lines. There we go. Burnish it down, clean everything if there is something to clean, and there you go. You can use this piece for the other one we're gonna do. Alright, cool. Yep, perfect. Yep. I don't think that you're gonna see this, but just in case, I am gonna clean down the rest you don't see. Alright, so let's do that with this one as well. So I'm just gonna make, I do need to make the marks. I do, so a 3/4 it is. A 3/4 it is. And that's the same thing on here. So we do make the measurements because we do want this to be a nice square from 3/4 by 3/4 and this one. And then we know the measurements. So that is why I just make these lines. And then with this one as well. Just a little mark will not hurt when you definitely want to be it perfect. Alright, now I'm not gonna make those marks with drawings. Now I'm just gonna grab my little ruler and just make the fold lines. There we go. And the last one. There you go. You can erase these. Again, not sure if you're gonna see those, but just in case. Okay, let's fold everything. These needs to go to the back. And then these. There you go, burnish it down. And now we have 2 of these. Okay, yep, and again I am gonna do this piece right here. That's the one that goes behind it. Alright, so this piece I am gonna place my design paper on then. And then I'll be back in just a second. Okay guys, those 2 are done. Let's grab our booklet and let's grab our first one. Now I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna add tape on the 1/2 inch hinges. You also can use glue, totally up to you what you like to use. There we go. I'm gonna peel off the one that's on the opposite side of this piece. Peel it off. And we're just gonna apply this completely on the edge. Make sure that you have your pockets on top. So I'm just gonna see where the middle is. And then I'm just gonna move it till I am nice and straight. I don't want to see any design paper on this side. There we go, burnish it down. And now we're gonna flip this. This is nice settled, just like this. You have your hinge right here. Just peel this off. And then just gonna flip this back till you are completely at the end. Fold it down. So this is your pop-up. Alright. Okay, cool. Let's go to the other one. So again, we're gonna apply tape on the 1/2 inch hinges. Again, we're going to start on the opposite side of the one that we put design paper on. And now this one, needs to go right here on this side. Okay, it's supposed to be fitting. So I'm gonna go as close as I can get to the edges. Maybe I'm just gonna turn this around because I'm white-handed. There you go. And again, I'm going to flip this over, peel the tape off, and just put this flat right here. And now we have our next piece. Okay, I'm going to flip this back, pocket up. So as you can see now, see this. Otherwise you should look at black mark and you don't want it. At least I didn't like it. Alright, so make this flat again. Because next we are going to cut a few little strips. So just find a leftover piece and we are gonna cut 4 little strips. Those are 3.5 by, yeah, a large 1/2 inch. So it's just between, yeah, 5/8 is maybe just a little too large. So I'm just gonna cut mine between a 1/2 inch and a 5/8. So that's why I would call it a large 1/2 inch. Sounds maybe ridiculous, but it's just what I like to cut. So 4 pieces we need. Large 1/8, not 1/8, 1/2 inch. There you go. So 3.5 by a large 1/2 inch. That's what we need. Okay. Now for the next step, because that's also very difficult to tell, is I'm going to cut down a diagonal. And I'm not sure how exactly, but if you cut, I'm going to flip this open, nice flat, and this needs to go on your left triangle. So if you're going to cut a diagonal, then it needs to fit so you still have a little bit left. Then you're going to place down some, and now if this is the most beautiful thing on people who are telling me, why do you have long nails? This is not the case, but God, sometimes it's handy. Okay, put this on between the fold lines, guys, not on top of the fold lines. You definitely don't want that. Press this on and let it dry for a second. I'm gonna flip mine so it's easy to get my next piece. You also can grab this if you want to be sure. Place that on and just make a mark right here and here, so it's right away perfect. But guys, the length of this is not a big deal. So if you do cut it a little wrong, that's perfectly fine. So I'm gonna spread my glue nicely. I'm gonna dab a little, because otherwise I have too much glue. Place it down. Try to be as straight as possible. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on here. Just make it flat. Don't worry, just gonna bend it back when needed. Make a few marks. Cut it down. Place some glue on. and press it down, and of course on this side as well. So on the piece where you put your design paper on, if you did put your design paper on, then that's the triangle you were looking for. So handy, long nails. It is, sometimes. Press it down. Alright. Okay, put this away for a second so this can easily dry. So put that away. Next. Okay guys, next step is we're gonna cut 4 little tags, and this is very convenient using your leftover pieces. We're gonna cut 3 by 5. So nice small little pieces of papers where we can use the leftover pieces for. So that is one of mine. So 3 by 5, 4 pieces. And we're also going to decorate these right away. Is this not... 3 by 5, and I am going to use this paper, and so I'm going to cut this a 1/8 smaller. And use all 4 the same ones. You can decide whatever you want, of course. That is totally up to you. I'm going to smooch the edges. I'm going to glue this on. I'll be back in a second because I love to smooch the edges a little bit more grungy. That takes a little more time than quickie. So, but this is my first one. Nice with black edges all the way around. Burnish it down. Go 4 times needed. Alright, be back in a second.